Old rivals back in action again. And for 3TR listeners, if Andrew Bensley would like to come across, we can set a scene for him down here at the Morwell Street Oval.
They really have been unlucky, haven't they, Morwell? You could say that they have been unlucky with injuries. We've gone through them. Knowles injured at Sale, Henderson injured at Sale a month ago or 5 weeks ago. Dawson never really took his spot after halfway through the season. A big ruckman. They lost. Mark Pearce, I thought their best on the ground performance against Bensdale, reported 1 week suspension, of course, which is vital because it's cost him a place in the grand final side. And
2 weeks.
2 weeks he was suspended. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? It's the grand final which was out, and that's what it cost him that place. And now today they find that David Allison going out of the side, their best player in the centre and a great player for them all year. And I thought at actually one stage he could have been a chance for the Trude and Rodder medal, but there he is today on the sidelines through probably no fault of his own, but a quirk of fate.
Okay, Alan Lowe has won the toss here, the Morwell captain coach. And he is kicking towards the slightly wind-assisted end, which will be the northern or Vale Street end of this ground. And, of course, Peter Hall, the Traralgon skipper, will take the opposing end, which is the southern end. Not very much of a breeze here blowing this afternoon, but more across the ground, but slightly favouring the northern end, which is the Vale Street or city end of this Morwell Street ground. We find that Kevin Mayer's lined up on John Featherston, and we'll find that Thomas Beveridge is looking after Kevin Smith. So a few changes, and umpire Clayton has the ball in the centre. The 83 grand final is underway. The big men fly. Big Johnny Walsh gets it to Peter Hall, quick to boot. Centre half forward the ball goes, charging off that half back line, and doing it well was Tony Smith. Gets it into the centre of the ground to Dwyer. Peter Black charges through. Can he get out of there? He can't. Gee, it's going to be a ferocious opening here. Push in the back, Stephen Allison, and he will take the first clean kick of the afternoon. Stephen Allison in the centre for the Morwell side. There's the kick, looking for Alan Lowe. Beveridge will have the sit here, punches it away, as well as Lowe hitting the turf. Kevin Smith comes out, grabbed there nicely by Fromberg, but the umpire said, I will have the ball, and that's umpire side bottom, and he will take it on the half forward flank for the Morwell side. Waiting now for the ball to be bounced once again. Up they go. Walsh goes with Craigsman. Walsh again does the better of the two. Comes through legs. Picked up by Allison. Loses it just as quickly. Peter Hall, the umpire says, I will take that ball again, fellows. And again, bounce it about 65 metres out from that Morwell goal on the half-forward flank of the Vale Street end.
Lots of pressure on here, of course, as you'd expect in the opening minutes. Just about got the knock, but it comes to Morwell. Beveridge goes in hard, flattens Smith. They have a bit of a box on behind play, but it's out of bounds about 45 metres around from the Morwell goals. Morwell in attack, and Craigsman's there, and Walsh. Walsh doing well already, the young ruckman who won the most outstanding potential this year in the Mobile Media Awards, and an outstanding young player. Low over the back, gets it out to Smith. Smith kick travels nowhere. Now it comes to Morwell. Another player flattened down there. Umpire will rush in and give a free kick this time to Stephen Allison. He's one of those sort of players that burrows in and gets the ball, gets the hard ones, and consequently gets free kicks.
Already second possession for Stephen Allison, a key link in this Morwell side. Number 8 stamped on his back. He is about 30 metres out from goal. The wind should assist him. He's done it pretty well. Will it make the distance? It has, I think. Let's see what the umpire says. One straight goal, and Stephen Allison has drawn first blood for the Morwell side. And the Kager Finance scoreboard now moves to 1 straight for Morwell. Traralgon, they have yet to score.
Coming in as Smith doing it well, but his kick is smothered by Traralgon player. In goes Munro for Traralgon. In goes Cordy for Traralgon. He goes over. Petro holds his ground for Morwell. He looks over his shoulder, comes back with the ball, go back onto his left boot, doesn't, trapped off his boot. Lots of desperation there as they get the ball forward, but coming in nicely was Charlie Ware, beat him through for 1 behind to the Traralgon side.
That's the first blood on the board for the Maroons. 1 point has been registered. They trail by 5, and we've been playing in this quarter around about 3 minutes. There's the kick out, a nice one towards the half-back flank. Great mark, nearly pulled down. In fact, the umpires awarded it to Russell North, and Russell North, a key figure, playing on Dixon this afternoon in the centre. There's his left foot kick, putting it high, down looking for Joe. Oh, Ness, a great mark. The umpire said play on, however. Neil Wright's arms went up there, and the umpire this time, umpire side bottom, will split the pack, and about 30 to 35 out from the Traralgon goal will bounce the ball.
These big fellas from Traralgon are going to be a big problem for the Morwell blokes, already looking a bit shorter down there in the forward line, whereas Traralgon look ominous long. You've got to be quick to get rid of it with these umpires. Traralgon fire the ball forward. What's it done? Over the top, through for a goal, I'd say.
Touched.
No, touched.
Waiting now for Big Neil Wright. He's only about 20 metres out from goal. Goes back. Study of concentration. It's not a good-looking kick by Neil Wright. In fact, it's wide. And Traralgon, they've had 3 scoring shots. Morwell have had 1, but Morwell are 1 straight. And Traralgon are 3 points on that Kega Finance scoreboard. Coming up here off the boots of Joe Albanese. And he goes back. It's putting it on its way. It's right through the centre. Traralgon have hit the front now. They move to 1:39. They lead Morwell 1 straight. And the time that's ticked away, the elapsed time is about 7 and a bit minutes. So Joe... And
Dixon, I think it is.
Yes, I think it's Dixon. Yes, Dixon is going to take the kick from about 35 metres out. On its way, it wobbles. It's, I don't know. The umpire will wait, and it's right through for 1 point only.
139 Traralgon, Morwell 117. As the ball's in danger zone for Morwell, they're going to clear. Ware gets pushed over just as he kicks it. Coming in strongly is Traralgon. Hall shoots. What's he done? Through for 1 behind. Tony Munro, the son, of course, the legendary Frank Munro, the coach, who actually, if Traralgon win today, Peter Hall will equal his record of 3 premierships with Traralgon. Tony Munro has the chance to put his side further in front. He has the ball about 40 metres out, or not 40, 30. Bangs it onto the boot. What's he done? I think he hasn't made any mistake. He hasn't. Brad
Stanistreet now, a right foot kick, wide, looking for Lowe. He'll find that player too. A good lead and a very good pass. Alan Lowe, the skipper, number 6, now will go for Featherstone. And it's found Velcevic. Velcevic on its way, going close but wide. And it's 1-2-8 for the Morwell side to 2-4-16 for the Maroons.
Should have steadied then. They had a great chance. Lowe set up Velcevic, got the ball down quickly, and then Velcevic just blazed away. He could have had a steady then, couldn't he? Quite easily. There's McFarlane for Morwell. Kick to kick off half-back lines here as McFarlane comes from the back pocket for Morwell and takes a mark right in the centre of the ground. And players going everywhere today. You'd be very hard-pressed to name any player in any set position as the ball's knocked away there from Lowe. We know where he is. He's at centre-half forward and already stamping himself on this game. The captain-coach of the Morwell side, of course, formerly from Traralgon.
Yes, free kick was given to Lowe there. Bones Johnson into his back. It's a nice-looking kick too, and beautifully thumped to the ground there by the rising Cat Cordy. Score 2-4-16 to 1-3-9 is the score, with Morwell trailing at this stage, and about 15 minutes have elapsed at the moment. And the free kick will be taken by the Morwell side, and Alan Lowe will be the recipient. Lowe, wobbly old kick, up they go. This time Featherstone in front on that occasion of Peter Johnson, and has taken the mark. I'm not sure who's looking after Featherstone down there. I think with all this confusion, I wonder whether Traralgon know who's supposed to be looking after him. I think they might have been too clever by half.
Well, they reckon that Cordy's playing on the wing. Well, I tell you what, he's the furthest down wingman I've ever seen. He's in the back pocket more than he is anywhere else. Featherstone's kick on its way. He's kicked 90 goals this year. Hasn't kicked this one because it's a mark down there in the last line of defence to who's
Kevin May.
Kevin May it is.
Up goes Velcevic, but nearly a nice mark. No, play on is the call. Caught with the ball, Velcevic. Coming through now, we find is the Traralgon runners. They get it onto the right boot up towards the half-forward line. Petro traps it well. He's a natural left-footer, so he'll do well. No, he hasn't done well. It's over the line and out of bounds.
It's a hand pass to Peter Johnson. Oh, he's absolutely flattened by Alan Lowe. Alan Lowe went in a bit hard then.
And Alan Lowe is being reported. I didn't think that was a reportable offence, to be quite blunt with you, but still, umpire Clayton thought it was. I don't know what you thought about it. I thought it was a fair hip and shoulder. I thought it was very late, but Peter Johnson mightn't think it's all that fair, but it is a grand final, and as I heard one senior coach in Melbourne say, we're not playing ping-pong, we're playing a man's game. Yeah. Box on between Bones Johnson and Alan Lowe, and it's really on in the centre of the ground. Players going down everywhere, and they are running in, and Bird has gone to the ground, and if anybody thought this wasn't going to be a fiery grand final, I don't know what I would have thought.
No, I didn't expect it. People were saying it was going to be a tough one. Well, they're in there trying to flex their muscles at the moment.
They certainly are.
Well, Morwell and Traralgon for a long time have been opponents. They've played in 5 grand finals, and it's been a long time between drinks for Morwell, and their frustration would be there too, losing a player like Allison just before the game.
Traralgon forward pocket as the goal umpire has fallen down, just to add to what is already a pretty good scene here, and it's David Drain who is at the turf, well-known goal umpire, theatricalised there in the grand final.
Yeah, oh, there's a big clash over there. Down goes Smith. Black's got the ball for Traralgon, threads the hand pass to Munro. Can he get to the ball? No, he can't. He gets one in the back, I thought, just about. Petro dived on the ball for Morwell. Desperate stuff down there. Players trying to drag the Morwell players off the ball. The umpire says play on. Black has it in the pocket. Bangs it towards goal. Touched. 1 behind. Yes, Hall just so easy as you like, dropped it straight on the boot instantly. The ball now in the forward pocket. Smith's there, good player for Morwell, isn't he? Strong since coming into this side. He's going to have a run. He's caught, he's tried to do one too many things. Oh, gee, they go in hard.
Peter Hall, he threads his way back through the crowd. Left foot kick, beautifully passed and beautifully taken by Rod Honeychurch, and he will remember taking that one because he's been given a thick ear as he's gone for the ball.
Mick Kennedy decided he'd make him earn that one. He really did. He drove him into the turf.
Waiting now for the kick to be taken by Honeychurch. It's a right footer, big arms of right. He's pushed out up there. The umpire saw it and said play on. It's going to be Tony Smith again. Short hand pass looking for Metcalf. He's going to be stood on and he's going to get a free kick. Well, yes. I'm afraid to tell you, umpire Sidebottom, you missed the first but not the second.
Good play by Smith again. That Morwell defence is holding up well, but so is Traralgon's. Bird's there, half-back flank, champion player, takes the mark right in the centre of the ground. Swings the ball this flank towards us. It's Hall. Hall has the ball. He'll run in. Bangs the ball onto the right boot. Beautiful kick to position. Right's there, but over the back is Black. Two of the great players from Traralgon. Through for what?
Touched, I think. Nowhere,
apparently. Still in play as we see Wright go out there with Smith. Smith in his back. The umpire will pay that. Unscientific play by Smith. The only thing he's done wrong, he's been playing superbly down under in that back pocket under extreme pressure. That time he just got into Neil Wright's back, and free kick to the big fella in the pocket. He'll be lucky if he kicks it, though. That's not his strongest point. 1-3-9 Morwell. They trail Traralgon, who are 2-5-17.
There's the kick by Neil Wright on its way, and I think the Traralgon crowd is saying 1 goal, but I think that umpire David Drain is saying 1 point, and that's all that counts. So it's Alan Lowe now on the outer side of the ground. He should be able to kick this into the goal square. It's a beautiful looking kick. Featherston and May go and touch through for 1 behind. Touch for the game. Peter Henderson, let's hope that hamstring holds up, son. There's the kick down in the Featherston direction. Oh, falling over at the 11th hour was May. Coming through to assist him there was Kerr. Kerr, a hand pass to Dwyer. Couldn't handle a ball as well as he would have liked. Picked up by Featherston, shot towards goal. Let's see what the umpire says. Through for 1 behind.
He's champion full forward from the Traralgon side. Bangs the ball long. Great kick. Marvellous kick. Marvellous.
It's through.
Absolutely beautiful kick. And here's one of the players that Footscray are looking at, of course, down here. And the viewers who haven't seen Joe Albanese, well, maybe we're not seeing much of him more because he might be going to Footscray next year.
I think the only problem with Joe Albanese is a little bit of inconsistency. He certainly has got the brilliance. Petro will mark, a courageous mark coming through in between two players, Tony Lane and Timmy Nuttall. Waiting now for the long kick off the left boot of that centre half back from Morwell. Down it goes, and Henderson underneath it, but couldn't mark it to the ground. Henderson has it now, taken away from that player, picked up by Peter Black. He shoots it out, but Rodney Kerr has a chance here. Kerr is grabbed and pushed to the ground. He'll receive a free kick, Rodney Kerr, and Kerr on the half-forward flank for the Morwell side will drive the Tigers into attack.
Yes, he does just that. The ball's at half-forward. Up high was Belchevic, one-handed. You've got to fly two-handed in this football. Now it comes to ground. Rain falling down here as Fromberg clears for Traralgon. Belchevic has another chance to go in. So does Featherston. They're both there, but the little player in Walsh, who's just on for Traralgon, he throws the ball, or punches the ball out of bounds about 45 metres around from the Morwell goal. That's first quarter gone. 1-5-11 Morwell. They trail Traralgon 3-6-24, and maybe Traralgon should be further in front.
Second quarter underway here as we see it dropping to the ground once more. Need to see the very dashing Peter Petro hand pass to Stephen Allison. Kick number 4 coming up. No, decides on a hand pass across to Kennedy. Kennedy with a left foot kick to the centre. Open territory coming up here. No, right underneath it is Robert Dixon.
He really has to pick up his game if Morwell are going to get back into this game. Dixon goes around his opponent. He's got a ton of pace. Goes through the centre. Bangs the ball long. He's a beautiful kick towards Featherston. Featherston knocked away from him. Comes to Walsh. Walsh clears. He's got a ton of pace too for Traralgon. Bangs the ball right to the centre of the ground. Something happened behind play. No, it's not. Wright's got the ball. It's in the centre. Goes wide looking for Lane. Lane has the chance to Black. Black takes a mark on half-forward flank. Instantly plays on, looking for his full forward in Munro. Over the back, Tony Smith. Nice mark.
Yes, Tony Smith playing very well in defence, as is Peter Petro, and Jock McFarlane has done a couple of nice things as well.
Valiantly.
Tony Smith, and it's Russell North to take the mark again. How many marks is that, John Mills, that young fellow has taken? Diving Tony Munro has taken the mark for the Maroons, and the grand final warming up with a quarter already gone, and Traralgon looking a little bit ominous at the moment.
Yes, if you get the ball up enough, obviously your forwards are going to have to break clear of the back when they just can't keep repulsing attacks. As we see Tony Munro fire it towards goal. What's he done? Beautiful kick. His father would be proud of it. Everybody's proud of it at Traralgon because that's their 4th goal. They go to 4-6-30 in front of Morwell, well in front now, 1-5-11. The Winfield Championship, and has a chance to put his side a very much needed goal at the stage of the grand final.
It's on its way, coming close.
Drain
1
hasn't
point.
moved, but it's 1 point.
There's the knock taken by Big Bones Johnson to the ground, picked up by Metcalf, touched off the hands, I thought, but the umpire let it go, and it's straight through the centre, and Colin Metcalf has registered his first. Colin Metcalf is first for the Morwell side here, as we found 2-6. That will be 18 on the board now for Morwell, as they trail by 12 points. Traralgon have 4-6-30.
Well, John Mills said to me before the game, Traralgon know that if Metcalf gets a kick around goals, he'll kick goals. He kicked 5 the other day against Bairnsdale last Saturday, and that was a beautiful illustration of how dangerous this player is around goals. He's just banged it straight through.
Kevin Smith has taken the seat in the box.
If there's any advantage that Traralgon have, surely it's in the air, and that just leaves them another player down in the air, and I think that's a very silly move.
He's a very good player, of course, Murphy, as is Velcevic, and they may want a few more runners out there, according to the Morwell Brains Trust. The great mark has been taken there by none other than Big Neil Wright, and we mentioned before the game that this fellow was going to play an all-important part in this game. He would be the best mark on the ground. He has taken 5 of them, and we are just about 10 minutes into the second quarter. Waiting now, let's see if he can make the 5th on the board, and his first for the Maroons. Goes back 10 metres out, it's on its way. I don't think anyone would miss that, and the umpire agrees. Neil Wright has put his first through the afternoon. We stamp that down for the big fellow. It's the 5th on the board for Traralgon. They now go to 5-7. That will make them 37 on the Kaker Finance scoreboard, leading Morwell, who are 2-6-18.
And just that player Smith again. He comes out, but he's got sticky fingers of a very fit Peter Henderson.
I'm sure that he has that zip, but I think he's a bit worried about stretching out, because when he does, he would be feared that that would go again.
Just as
you speak about him, he shoots towards goals and puts it on its way and through for 1 point for the Morwell side. Waiting now for the kick to be taken by Tom Beveridge. Beveridge now after that point for the Morwell side. They go to 2-7. Will now kick it out towards the half-back flank. Johnny Walsh takes it off the pack. The kick is smothered well by Morwell. Taken over there this time by Greg Welsh for the Morwell side. Puts it forward. Good try there by Peter Hall. He'll run it well off that half-back flank. Puts it into the Russell North area in the centre. Gets a bad bounce but punches it beautifully forward. But Tony Smith, who's playing superb football, defends, looking for and finding Kennedy. Kennedy looking for and finding Flaherty. Now we find it taken away by Walsh again, playing well. Picked up by Stanistreet, but the kick is not good, because it's Greg Walsh on this occasion for Morwell. Gets it to Nuttall. His kick is smothered. Darryl Bird runs in and takes a very strong mark in front of Dixon on that occasion. There's the kick by...
There is Smith again, but over the top is Petro. He takes a well-judged mark there. Oh, there's a nice clash between them. One of the biggest players. Whoop. Another one, 2 behind play. As we see the ball now towards centre half forward. Lowe's there, gets one high and in the back, just about a free kick. I would have paid that.
Picked up by Fromberg. He loses it just as quickly as he had it. Charging through the pack is Stephen Allison. Gets it down to Flaherty. Flaherty will turn, shoot towards goal, but it's off target and through for another behind as they move to 2-8. Now that will make them 20, exactly 17 points down on Traralgon's 5-7-37. Charlie Ware came out from that full-back division to take a nice steadying mark for Morwell and try and dispatch the ball, and that is his first kick, in actual fact, in general play.
A shortage, of course, here at Morwell. They haven't got many ruckman. Morwell at this stage. That's where they're getting beaten as the ball comes back towards Johnson. He knocks it to Lane. Lane gets one high from Stanistreet, desperate to tackle, but too high, Brett Stanistreet, and a free kick, Tony Lane.
Dixon got one high, picked up by Murphy for Morwell, sends it forward. Metcalf has the ball, too high, bit stiff. Metcalf went down, and Bird had him round the waist when he started, but ended up around the neck, and the umpire, quite rightly, has given a free kick to Colin Metcalf. Metcalf has put 1 goal on the board. He won't do anything with this. He'll just put it to centre half forward. There's Lowe, nearly a good mark by Alan Lowe, but down to the ground again it goes. Tony Munro comes out. He still can't possess it, and he desperation kicks it back towards the goals. And I tell you what, it's nearly through, but not quite. That was the most miraculous kickback. I thought it was a frustration kick by Tony Munro, but his accuracy was there, and another metre, and it would have been another Tony Munro and Traralgon goal, but not to be. Skipper Peter Hall, who will have an attempt now to put his first goal on the board, and a 6th goal on the board for the Maroons.
Just about kicked this too. It's a beautiful kick for goal, Peter Hall. I think he can sense that he's got a great chance of doing that. He drops it onto the right boot. Oh, gee, it's gone a mile, hasn't it? But just a slightly offline and through for 1 behind.
And coming up to half-time, they need a goal desperately. They trail by 20 points. Can they get it? Waiting now for the ball again to be bounced up. The runner is Peter Black, and there's a box on in the centre of the ground as we find perhaps a goal coming up. Has the umpire seen the box on? He has, and the box on is finished, so is the quarter, and the quarter has run exactly 28 1/4 minutes, and that's the second piece of frustration we've seen on behalf of both sides.
Yes, Graham, well, I have a former Morwell star here, and of course Carlton player Brian Quirk has come back to see the Tigers in action today. A little bit disappointing at this stage, Brian.
Certainly is. We hope things improve in the second half.
What do you think is the main problem with Morwell at the moment? Where do you think they're falling down?
Well, just from sort of standing on the sidelines, I think we're struggling up forward. Defenders are working pretty hard, and I think we have to do a little bit better around the packs.
They're not holding their marks, the big key forwards at the moment.
Oh no, the conditions are very difficult really. You know, it's quite blustery and a bit slippery, but we're hoping for better things in the second half.
Well, I'm sure you'd like to see a Morwell victory after 17 years.
I would love it.
Thanks, Brian.
Here's the VFL preliminary final. Essendon certainly doing it well with 24 points in the advantage. 8-3, 51.